everybody, we are over here at the zombie spawner. We're gonna this is gonna be a very like high build. I mean, it's gonna be very tall. Like usually zombie spawners like my skeleton spawner are way down below the ground. So we're gonna I'm gonna open up this entire area so we can look down into it. And oh great, it's raining. So I'm gonna go do that, and then we will cut back to doing the actual build itself. So I'm just going to reveal the zombie spawner to start with. Be right back. Alright guys, so we have cleared the zombie spawner to the air. This is the closest to the surface I've ever seen one of these dungeons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like literally it was 4 blocks under the surface. So if you have watched any other zombie farm videos, you'll know that the spawnable radius of a zombie spawner is 9 blocks. So 4 blocks away from the spawner in every direction, including down. So I'm going to have to dig out all of this. But I wanted to show you how close this was to the surface. So we don't have to do a whole ton. We do have to bring up the zombies from down below up 22 blocks. So we're going to have to build a tower. So I think building some kind of structure around it might be really neat. So I'm going to get this all cleared out and start doing some layouts, and then I'll show you what it's going to look like after that. Alright, my friends, we have completely emptied out this entire area for the spawner. So I counted up 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks up, which means right about here is where we need our ceiling. And I had to get myself out of the hole by using some dirt earlier. So let's let's leave it open air for now, and then we can fill it up afterward. But we just wanted to know where that roof was to begin with. Let's see here. We'll just do a line across the top just so we know where our roof line is. But we don't want to make it too dark in there. We can always fill in the last little bit later. And we also want to make sure that we bring these blocks all the way up too. I'm just using cobble here. It's not important what level you use, what kinds of items you use. We're probably never going to look in here ever again, so some Minecrafters really like to make it look beautiful and such, but it's not necessary really. Let's see. We'll get this all the way across. And I ran out of cobble. So let's get a little more cobble. I brought my portable setup here. All the random stuff that I could possibly use for this build. And I'll go over our list of items here in just a minute. Just gonna fill in those walls. Obviously, we'll leave some dirt in there, and I'm gonna use that dirt to get down here in a second. There we go. So a good idea of how to get to it. Now, what's going to happen, just to kind of give you an idea ahead of time, is that we're going to funnel all the zombies into a center point, and then we're going to raise them up. And I'm thinking, ooh, that's not good. Boop, boop. Okay, so we're going to raise them up to a center point. Usually they'll come in a couple blocks from the edge of this spawner, and then they'll come in here. And then we'll have to find where we want to put the actual build and where we want to raise the elevator up. Now, obviously it'll raise up here because that's where we're going to bring them in, using the water flow to push them into a central column. Now, something I've been doing lately is actually, instead of sending them out that direction, sending them over to the corner and just doing like a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then doing a drop. Ooh, well, that wouldn't be good. Doing a drop right around the corner. Now, in doing this, we could, in essence, put like tinted glass up on top if we wanted to look down. But, so we'll decide on that next. So let's go down below. Or we could send it over there. But I'm thinking if I do it like this, if we send up, we can have like a tower built here. I can move that portal a little closer over this direction and it'll still link up in the nether. And if we do it like that, we can build, just flatten all this out, put dirt over it again, pretend like nothing is underneath here. It'll still be close enough, because if you notice where we're standing right about here, it's still glowing. The zombies, like the little fire particles are acting up. So you know that it's still triggered by standing here. And in fact, anywhere in this area is still going to be close enough to trigger the spawner to activate. So I don't know about right here. Probably. Can I see it? Oh yeah, see, it's still triggering even up this direction, so I think it will be good to go. Maybe we'll do one little tiny, like, viewing platform here. We can build it up a little higher, put glass, like the tinted glass in there, and then we can just view it during the daytime and it'll still run, darkness included. So let me get down here again. Okay. So a center point, and these are the things we're going to need for this build. And again, if you've watched any of the videos online, there's plenty of other builds. There's all sorts of variations of this. This is just a very simple one. Couple buckets of water, and I do have a water source up above. Scaffolding is an excellent thing to have. Always have scaffolding. Ice, you don't need it necessarily, but it's kind of a good thing to have as well. You want kelp to be able to make solid water blocks out of a single water bucket, but you could use tons of water buckets and create water blocks that way. You're going to need some kind of building block to make the tower with, and then of course we'll have some tinted glass in there so we can still watch them go, and the soul sand to create a bubble elevator. So, and signs to keep the water from flowing where you don't want it. So to start with, we know the center point of this build is going to be right here. So we know they're going to float up this direction. So what I'm going to do real quick is put some scaffolding in here. And we're just going to break it open to the air. So now we know where the tower that is going to raise them up goes, but we don't have it ready yet. So first off, we're going to put some water sources down in the corners. And now water sources flow 7 blocks out, and then they'll always stop. So as you notice, very even points, they'll stop. So then all you have to do is we need to dig down 1 block everywhere there's not water to start with, including in here. So don't forget to do in there. Oh, and I put cobble up above. Now you can actually put like a slab on top or something like that on top of this spawner, and that will give additional air space for spawning. But I find it works just as well. You need to do something to keep them from spawning immediately above the spawner itself so that they don't just hang out up there. So once you've dug down one layer all the way across and also into your hole area here, you're going to then take off all of those single blocks where the water hits. So we're going to go all the way through here. Okay, so as you notice, it easily flows right down into this area. And then what I usually do is do just a couple more. It pushes them down in. So once you've taken out all of those blocks and everything's flowing to the center point here, the next thing you need to do is take it down one block each right here. And we're going to put our blue ice in here. Now this way you don't have to have the water come all the way here. Now there's a couple options you can do if you really want your water to continue to go until this point, but we need a separation between the water source that will be here for the elevator and the water source from here. Otherwise, you're going to create an actual water source block and it'll stop everything from moving. So one thing that I've noticed that helps a lot is to put some kind of slippery block in. So once the zombies get clogged up, they start to push themselves down in. Now to stop the water, you have to put a sign. It doesn't have to be very fancy or anything. And then I usually put a couple signs because you're going to need at least the height of a zombie, and then the third one just in case they start to get crammed. So at this point, if a zombie, here I'll pretend I'm a zombie spawning. I spawned in here, I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. It slowly pushes me down into here, and then it's going to push me into the ice block, and I'm going to keep moving, and then as zombies build up, I will be pushed into this area. So to start with, though, we are going to put a dirt block here. We are going to replace it with the soul sand, but we do need to get a whole bunch of kelp in here to make them source blocks, and obviously I need to go back up and get my water, so I'm going to take out these water sources for just a moment. Uh-oh. Hello? I don't want any, you can go away. Oh, great. Alright, hopefully they are going somewhere else. Go away. You're too close to this village. Are they stuck? Are you stuck? No, you're not stuck. I keep milk on me for this very reason. Woo! Where'd the banner go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so once we have everything dug out, we have our our chute that goes up. We need to figure out on the surface where we want them to drop down. So keep in mind, wherever they come up out, they're going to have to drop down to a flat area. So if we have, I'm just going to build myself up here. So if we want them coming up and then dropping down, let's say here, we need 22 to this point. So wherever, if it's flat, we want it here. So we're going to take 22 scaffolding. This is the easiest way I found, and we just build up. And then wherever we come up, we want to make sure that this hole here will come up, go across, and then drop down there. Now, most of this I think is going to be hidden, but we can make this shorter if we want. And I kind of wonder whether we should do that and bring all of this down. Because if we're going to hide it, it would be kind of cool to hide it like lower so then we can actually have the viewing room. Whoa. Well, that's a good thing it wasn't a 22 fall, otherwise I would have died right then. Mental note to myself. Let's block this hole for just a minute. I just need enough space for things to, like, water to flow a couple of blocks. So actually we don't need it to come all the way over here, but I think sorry, my friends, I'm going to clear all of this area out and get it ready for our drop shoot. So let me go do that real quick and we will come back. It looks like the sun's setting anyway, and we'll get ready for where it's going to, our little base, Heidi base is going to be for this build. All right, everyone. So I got a little more done than I originally thought I was going to do, mainly because it kept raining. So I just kept working through the rain until I could reset for the day. So right now I have some water source blocks, water down there just because I kept falling in this hole. But I didn't want to darken it up completely yet because we aren't finished working down there. And I didn't want to seal it off just yet because we do need to come up and down. But what I did is I got all of this set and ready to go for an actual build to go around this. So I think I'm going to have a door here. And then I'm just going to kind of seal off all of this. Now this is the chute that comes up. So we don't want to seal that off. And we'll pretty this up later. But I wanted to have some kind of build here to begin with, and then we need to obviously fill in all of this and make this floor look nice, and we might change it out for like maybe wood or something later instead of the stone. There we go, and then I want a stair. Whoa. Yeah, that wasn't good. There. Do that, and then we will come over to our cutter, and I had some more visitors, so I keep having to run back and forth over to the village to get milk after I've drunk the milk that I have. So we're just going to put a stair there. That's going to walk us out. The reason it comes down a little bit is obviously there was a lot of land up here and I still need to level it out more, but I didn't want to dig down too low and make it look too obvious. So we're going to push back some of this dirt later. We'll put a door here and then build the building around it. So obviously we still have to get this tower in. So what I always do to do these towers is we will take our drop chute. So we'll start where we need things. So we're going to need a collection system. You don't have to, but I find it's so much easier when you do. So having a chest right there and then having a hopper go into it. Let's see if I can scooch down here and then, no, of course not. Oops. All right, fine, be that way. Hopper into it. That is where the zombies are going to land. No, I can't get out. Okay, so that's where the zombies are going to land. Now they're going to need to have an extra block, so when I stand here I can hit their feet, but they can't see me. Okay, so once we get our chest in, we get our hopper in, we need 22 blocks for the fall. And I found the easiest way to do that is to actually have 22 scaffolding. So we can't put it there with the hopper apparently because it won't let us do it. So we're going to have to wait on the hopper until we're done. So we're going to put a block for the hopper there, and then we're just going to put the scaffolding in. There we go. That's how high we have to build this thing. So I don't know how I'm going to hide this in here. What we're going to do, I might make like a guard tower, and then we're going to have a smaller like side building to the side of this. I don't know how that's going to work yet, but let me get this build in and I will come back. All right. So now that I decided to use glass as a drop chute so we can see the zombies falling, and I didn't have a lot of stone. I need to clean up the outside over there just a little bit to make it a little more of an even drop chute. But basically what happens is they will get sent up, and I haven't set the kelp in there yet, but they'll get sent up the chute, and there's a water source at the top right now so we can get water all the way through it. And then they will come across this little tiny bridge and then drop right down here, and we'll be able to see them fall. Now I've got to do a little more cleanup, so and then obviously we still have to go down there and do some other things, but let me do a little cleanup first. I love this. It looks like an elevator with the tinted glass. Way up here. And then there's just a sign at either end. Now I'm going to take us out of here for just a minute. Let me get in that right spot here. There. So we can clean up some of that stone that looks odd. I think it was there and there. There, like that. I think I wanted to get rid of one of those. I'm doubting myself. Oh, nope. Alright, we need to get rid of here and there and there. So that's going to so that's going to make that look nice and even. Now, again, we'll have to figure out what to do with this whole top portion here. But we're just going to take that and seal it back off. Now, this is only a 2 high. If you had a skeleton farm, I would recommend maybe making this 3 high, but zombies are a little shorter. So right now, this will go all the way down. So there's a drop. There'll be a drop here. So we need a sign here. So once we get the bubbles going, we need a sign to keep this water source and this water source separate. And then it's going to flow over here. And as you notice, I just got pushed. It's going to be really hard for them to push back. And then they'll drop here, but we're not going to need them to drop yet because I'm going to need a drop here shortly. So we're going to leave the scaffolding in on this side. So I'll be able to get back out again. Now, this is the reason I put water down here, so that I could get in and out of here. Whew, okay, we will have one more water bucket here. Oh, darn. There are still odd looking blocks here. Let me get up out of here and get some of these odd looking blocks out of the way. I said it doesn't have to look pretty, but we don't want them spawning where they shouldn't, so. Go. Now it's all water slowing everywhere. Now I think because we have actual daylight in here, we might be safe to get rid of those blocks and the zombies won't spawn. I'm hoping. That's our hope. So we're gonna set this all up. Yeah, I think it's gonna be safe. And then we need to switch this out for kelp. Let's hold our breath. Oh, zombie spawning already. I'm doing this as fast as I can and I hope I don't drown. Okay, good. Whew. Okay. So hopefully they won't be able to come up there. So now all the kelp is in. That means all of those water blocks are now source blocks. And we have one zombie and we see it's already working. What we want it to do. Now we're gonna have to jump down in there. And then we're gonna have to kill the zombie, and then we're gonna put the soul sand in and then have to come down here real quick. So let's see how this works. Rah! And it's fine that those are... There we go. And then we wait for the bubbles. And we've got the bubbles going. So what's going to happen is they're going to be jumping up and down on this, and then they're going to want to come over here, and they're going to get pushed this way. So the more zombies get built up in here, they're going to get pushed over to this spot. And now we can get rid of all of these. I need to, before we darken it up over there, I do need to get my hopper in. Like that. Perfect. Uh-oh. There are zombies coming. So we're just going to kind of make it safe for the moment. So he's getting pushed in just a little bit, so he's trying to get to me from there. So if I went over here, for example, he'll come this direction, up the chute, and he should get pushed up, and then he'll want to come over here to the drop chute. Let's see if it works. You might be forcing the water a bit. Yep. Oh. Did he go? Did he finally slip in the ice enough to get into the water? There he is. And he is still alive. Let's see if he's a one punch. Two. Could have dropped a little further maybe, but that's okay. So yeah, there is our zombie spawner. Let me cut a block in half here real quick, because it'll be easier to swipe at him without having to crouch. So now we'll be able to come, so I'll be able to build the rest of the building and stand right here and then swipe at him. Ooh. Also, we're going to darken it up in there. And then with the last block, you'll see that this light goes away. It's nice and dim in there. There's a weird effect going on because of the tinted glass and the lights here. I think it probably has something to do more with my shaders than it does with this stuff, but we should. There we go. Full 4 zombies coming out at the same time. Perfect. Perfect. So we'll see them come down. Oh, is that satisfying? Look at them. So satisfying. Come on, guys. Yeah. Now we'll just come here. Look at all that XP. Not a lot of zombie flesh because we need a looting sword. Yeah, there we go. There is your... And I do have a light in there up at the top, and the only reason I have that in there is that you wouldn't... It'll be very dark through the tinted glass if you didn't have a light up there. So Just keep that in mind if you want to see and have tinted glass. This area is the spawnable area. That's the most important. Once they go up that chute, like the light is too far away to really affect down here. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to probably finish building some kind of thing here. Get some more XP. And we'll come back and look at it once it's all done. All right, everyone. We have officially completed the zombie farm. Here it is. And I'm not entirely sure I like the top of it. It works for what it is up above when you're up there, but when you're standing down below here, it looks kind of weird. So that is probably going to get fixed here in the next little while. But for now, let me take you on a quick tour. And as you can tell, I had lots more visitors after that, but I have done a little bit of terraforming around here. I still need to get the path out for our villagers, but I basically created what I thought was kind of a rickety old shack of sorts. It is safe in there. It is non-spawnable for creatures, so I can kind of AFK a little bit here and there while the zombies fall down and die. But meanwhile, let me show you. So as I said, I moved the portal inside, and then I added a nice little roof to our area. Now, as you notice from the previous scene, there was a way to hit zombies here. Now, the more I built this, the more I realized that that was not going to work. And as I mentioned in my previous clip there, I completely forgot about baby zombies. So I have trapdoored them off. So if a baby zombie does spawn down here, this trapdoor keeps them from coming out. They get trapped right in there. So then I can either go like this and kill them from below, or I could open the trapdoor up there. Either way. Look how efficient that is. I have all these rotten flesh. Somehow a zombie got stuck up in the water. I think it was when I was building up there, which I'll show you in a second. I think he just hung out in the water long enough that he became a drowned and he dropped a copper ingot. But these are some of the items that you can get from zombie drops, and get other kinds of items and more HP, XP, that sort of thing, as well as carrots and whatnot. So here's another thing. Now I still need a few more enchantments on this sword. I would love to, I need to get probably Sweeping Edge. It would probably take out more of the zombies at one time. And I do have another diamond sword back at my base that I would like to merge into it eventually, but I don't have the levels for it yet. I think it costs like 38. So while I do this tour with you, we might be able to do that and then merge it. Again, like now you see that finally the lighting has fixed itself so that it no longer has that weird shadow. But I think it worked for when I was showing you down there because of the fact that you could see down in there. It had a few, like an extra chest for other supplies, clock so I can see what time it is. This bed, I need to put some stuff underneath it probably. Let's see, do I have any blocks now? Yeah, I'll have to put blocks under it later. But it is just far enough away from the zombies that will let me sleep. And if we come up here, these are modded palisade blocks. So they're kind of like walls, but made out of wood, which I really like a lot. And if we come up here, this is kind of our viewing platform area. And as I said, it looks nice when you're standing up here. It looks like it's not too huge, but it just looks very unwieldy. So I'm either going to figure out a way to make this smaller up here, or I'm gonna do something to make it look wider at the bottom maybe. And if I stay up here too long, he might convert into a drown, so might be something I can do for that later. So let me get all of those levels. Now we're level 30. We have plenty more rotten flesh that we can trade to our cleric villager, which I don't know if I showed you my cleric villager. So let's head on back to the village. So we are back at the base. And I don't think I've changed too many things over here, but I will say that I did have a second zombie villager that I managed to convert into a happy regular villager. And then we... Oh, it's nighttime. I guess I should sleep too. But we have our cleric villager, which I need a name too. And he trades us for all this zombie flesh. And I need to get a lot more emeralds, but what I have now gotten him up to master, I have gotten us some ender pearls. Because, as I mentioned before, we need to fight the dragon soon, and this is episode 12. So, and I kind of said episode 15. So it really depends on what we do in between times here. Because I think our tools are in pretty good shape. So I would still like to merge this sweeping edge with this sword. So I need some more levels to do that. And that would pretty much make that as good of a sword as I would expect to have. I already have a pretty good bow. I do have a couple other bows. I don't think... Are they here? Yeah, there's a power. I already have power. There's another punch, so I could make it punch 2 if I combine these two fellas. And then I have been using my levels from the zombie farm to enchant us some basic enchants. So we do have protection 4 on all of our armor. We do have unbreaking 3. I still need to get mending on all of it. I did manage to get aqua affinity and respiration 3 on our helmet. And I only have depth strider 1 so far in the boots. I need a few other things on the boots. But I think it's time. I think it's time to get rid of this iron armor. What do you think? Let's do this. Let's take off our old trusty iron armor that has served us well and get some gear on. Some shiny gear. Oh, look at it. It's so beautiful and it matches my eyes. And I think it matches the roof a little bit. So that is where we are going to leave today's episode. So I think in between times here, so before episode 13, I will get my armor all with mending all the way down. And then we'll go find the stronghold together. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Millie. Thank you for coming along with me on the zombie build XP farm thing. Hopefully you learned something new. I know a lot of builders say, oh, hey, you gotta do this drop shoot, and they don't give you like an easy way to do it with scaffolding and all of that. So I hope you learned something there if you hadn't before. And I'll see you on the next episode. Bye!